Alrighty, folks, we're back. We're doing a 2023 year in review. I'm Rowan.
Hello.
So yeah, we're just gonna gibber a bit about the last year. Because I was looking on the Discord and I found out that at the start of the year I'd played about 440 games on the TTO list, and it's now 1,020. So I've played about 600 games this year, so I just thought I'd just do a list of some decent ones. You can watch it if you want. I'll put links to all of them in the thing on YouTube when this goes live to YouTube. So yeah,
I do like the dichotomy of like you playing 600 games and me playing my entire life on one.
Yes, I mean, in fairness, I went from playing WoW full time to playing this, and you can tell the first year I stopped playing WoW because my Steam goes from playing like 17 games a year to like 300. And it's like, what's changed here?
Something is different. Something is eating up a lot less time.
It's the world changes a lot when you're no longer the GM of a guild.
Yes,
dear.
this is why I refuse to do that shit, and instead I'm trying to fish up Old Crafty in Orgrimmar as a night elf. It's fun.
Alright, well.
Been here for like an hour.
So we've got quite a few games to get through today. Shall we begin with the free games or the non-free games, Road? Actually, no.
Go with the free ones.
I'll give you the categories and you can tell me which one to do first.
Okay.
We have free games. We have best actual money priced games. We have best games that weren't from this year, but we did play them on the stream this year. We have best games that are so fucking terrible they're actually really good. And we have games that are not quite good, but they're at least different and interesting. And then we have just the terrible games, which we probably should keep to the end. So I think that's the one people will want to watch for.
Really good, terrible games.
Good, terrible games. Alright, okay.
Yeah. Games that are so bad, they somehow jump the shark into being great all over again.
Let me find this list then. There's definitely one here that I'm like, this was amazing. Yep, okay. We'll start with this one then. So, just to reiterate, these are games that are bad. They're bad. But you have a laugh with them when you play them. And we're going to start with this one. So this is Going Deep. This one was fucking terrible. The voice acting is...
Describe it to me. What kind of a game is this?
This
Give me a
is...
genre.
This is a kind of Resident Evil style game.
Okay.
You're kind of third-person perspective. I won't be able to do this for all of them, but I'll do the ones that I remember definitely. I definitely remember this one. So you're kind of over the shoulder, you've got guns, the sound effects are terrible, the translations and all the text are awful, it's full of assets out of the fucking wazoo. I don't think there's an original piece of anything in it.
Any work at all? Yeah, okay,
It's literally just nailed crudely together all the way through. I'll actually play the trailer in the background in silence while we do it. But yeah, this game was so fucking terrible and I loved it. It was just brilliant. I loved this game. It's like £4. It's £4.29. It's basically just Resident Evil but done so badly. So terrible.
I'm getting some young guy or lass thought to themselves, hey, I like Resident Evil a whole bunch and I like video games. How about I make a Resident Evil-like video game using my imagination?
Yeah.
I'd never used the program before.
Yeah,
so had to use all of this stuff that they just found was like, that'll have to do, basically.
Oh yeah, I think that, I don't know, I think there's some love being put into this. But it's so fucking, like, it's like, anyone else watching this would be like, this is so asset heavy, what the fuck are you doing? This is going to be terrible. But I had such a laugh playing this one.
It's like, where have I seen this model before?
Oh god, all of them are like that. Hey King, how's it going? We're doing a review of the year. So we're doing a bunch of games.
We're starting out with terribly good games.
Terrible games, so terrible they're actually good. And we're starting with Going Deep, which was... By God, it was so bad.
Resident Evil as made by a 15-year-old.
It was like, I've played a lot of bad Resident Evil clones, but I loved this one. This was just, it was just stupid fun all the way through, and I don't think they intended it to be even close to be that fun, but it was a laugh. So that was going deep. Next on the list is one I didn't rate that highly, in fairness, but it's as the weeks have gone on, I've remembered it and just still giggle about it. So that's this one, which is Blurred Weird Night.
Don't step on my cock.
Blurred Weird Night is some sort of puzzle game. It's all in Chinese and it's translated terrible. But you're trying to solve this shit and you're running around this square and weird shit happens, but the translations are just so bad. So bad they're fucking funny. And it's things like you just come around the corner and there's these two random people that are just standing there, and one of them goes, "Hey you," and you just look down and there's this random chicken just appeared and her shouting, "Don't step on my cock." It's fucking terrible.
What?
But it's just so bad. You're like, this is just... It's so bad. It's genuinely terrible game. Terrible fucking game. But it's brilliant.
It was an evil warding chicken or something.
Yeah, there was an evil warding chicken, I think it was, yeah. But yeah, it's terrible. Like, as I said, with these 5 games we're going across, like, most of these are, you might play them and you might go, these are fucking terrible, what the fuck are you doing? But you might just have a lot of fun with them because some of them are really fucking bad. Actually, I might even add the one from the other night because it was fucking terrible, but it had equally just such a... Cutscenes alone were fucking worth it. But yeah, this one is, when it's a little bit more expensive, this one's £8.50, so wait for this to be on sale. This one does go on sale quite a bit. But yeah, as I said, it's bad. It's hilariously bad. They put if you walk through the events and announcements, one of them literally is, I don't know if it's this one. There's one they just, like, here it is. They just put an entire explanation of how to get through the game from start to end. Because people couldn't work it out. So they just put the entire, like, this is what you do to get through the entire game. So yeah, there's a full walkthrough by the devs. So yeah, it's a fucking weird ass game. It makes no fucking sense to anyone, but it's terrible, but you might still have fun with it.
Beautiful.
What was next? What was next in the terrible games? Oh, this one. This is one... oh, no, I'm actually typing. This is one that I know... I got asked why the fuck you playing this when we were playing this. This is Dinosaur Forest, everyone. This is currently 50p. I'll put it in the background. This is terrible. This is literally the definition of, you load in, the dinosaurs run at you, you can shoot them with any gun you want, and then it just cuts to, like, another bit of random story, and then back to the more random shooting. It's utter fucking trash. The missions in the campaign are like 2 minutes long each. They have like 5 billion achievements for this game. Like,
can I see some of these dinosaurs?
Yeah,
like,
I've got the video in the background.
Can I just paleo-judge them real quick?
Yeah, there'll probably be some in this video, I imagine. But yeah, they are... It's 50p of utter pish. But by God, I had a laugh with it when I played it.
Me.
No, is he going to actually find anything, or is he going to... Well, let's just look. There are like... These are all pictures as it goes along.
Right.
No, that's not in-game. Yeah, like Triceratopses, like stuff.
Okay, well, they fucked up the horns immediately.
Yeah, this first one might actually have more dinosaurs in it. Let's do full screen. I don't think this has... Like, there's some dinosaurs there, but they're very kind of... This is a game that knows that all the dinosaurs animation stuff they have are terrible. So it doesn't include any of them in the trailer.
Oh no.
But it's bad. It's bad.
Sadness.
It's bad. But as I said, it's 50 fucking p. I imagine it's very, very much under $1. It's stupid. It's terrible. But fucking hell, I had a laugh with it. It was so bad. So fucking bad.
It's like that shark punching one.
Oh god,
Do
yeah.
you remember that one?
I remember
Yeah.
that one.
Is that on any lists?
No. But this one is. This one's
No?
Headhorse Legacy, which is down at £2.14.
What?
Headhorse Legacy. Now, this one is better than most on this list. Because it's a semi-competent game. But you're basically it's another one of those find items to do things with those items, to unlock more items, to get further, to unlock, to basically escape, friend. And friend is a guy in overalls and a horse mask. And he's got a dog. The dog just comes and looks at you. And if he looks at you, then friend comes to try and get you. Yeah, it was one of the better find items to do items games that I've played. But it had its elements of just fuck me. It does have that kind of weird challenge mode of it'll just annoy the hell out of you enough. That if you're stubborn and ADHD filled, you might just have a laugh trying to finish it. If you're not, then you might be like, this game's just fuck this game. But I think that yeah, I just had fun with it. It's just another one of those. It's terrible, but I had fun with it, and I would definitely say that it's got a good chunk of fun with it. Because it's just
I'm getting like whiffs of that like child-friendly horror game vibe.
It's basically
Like Hello Neighbor. That
kind of like Hello Neighbor. It's basically like you're in a house and you need to find like the screwdriver to take the screws off the vent to go into the vent, and then once you've got the vent, you can go through there and you can find like a crowbar, and then you need to go find some wooden planks you can take off, and then you can go into that room, and then you can find other items, and you go along here and do that and so on. And there was quite a good lot of items in Headhorse Legacy, if I remember right. It has a mobile port as well, which is another thing that puts a lot of people off games like this. It does have, for some reason, it has a backrooms mode as well. But
yeah, that's
I never really understood the whole. I don't really understand the whole backrooms thing, but
it, I believe, comes from a place of like strange childhood nostalgia, combined with video game logic. Because the backrooms and liminal space they share some quantities, but they are two separate beasts. It's got an SCP kind of vibe to it as well. The backrooms does. Very much like a community project based around a single fucking 4chan post, I will add. This came from 4chan. Of course it did.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
Just quickly looking over what I said about this one, see if there's anything I need to add with it. No, Friendo apparently just randomly shouts shit about your mommy, your daddy, someone called Samantha, and someone called Billy.
Okay.
When he doesn't shout, he's very quiet, so he can get you around blind corners sometimes. Most times you get 5 lives, so if he catches you, you count as basically dead, and then you've got 4 more attempts, and so on and so on and so on. You probably have one run take you about half an hour if you get good at it, but yeah, Friendo can just basically turn up behind the door and just randomly get you without realizing he's there. It's frustrating, but it's fun.
One of those kind of throw yourself at the brick wall for a while kind of games.
It's kind of it's got a good sense of achievement to it for actually getting through the damn thing. How am I spelling this? I'm spelling it wrong. It's the next one. The last one in the so terrible. They're good. Is this one, which is Chimera's Mansion.
Right.
It is a £3.39 game. So it's find keys to open doors. The animations are very 3D style. The plot was very fucking simple. Apparently you were in a car accident, and then you discover that someone in this mansion has been breeding Chimera.
Okay.
So you need to just kind of find... There it is there. There he is.
Right. Okay. Right. That is something.
That is something, and he's a bit of wonderful. He's a bit of wonderful.
I, weirdly enough, quite like the PS1 style.
Oh,
they
yeah,
got going
yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's
That's
it's
quite nice.
It's got a decent art style to it. But yeah.
Actual love and talent went into this.
Oh yeah, I think there was actually a chunk of talent put into or at least a chunk of love put into this. You're looking for a lost cat. By chance, you arrive at a mysterious mansion in the depths of the forest. What is the identity of the mansion? There's a lot lost in translation with this, but it's still
Yeah,
fun.
legit. I would also run into a mansion of chimeras to rescue my cats. Like, I think any good cat parent would.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yes, you little shitbags. I love you.
All right. But yeah, that's all the So Terrible They're Good games. So the other categories were best free games, best games from this year, best games from before this year, and unique ideas. What's your choice? Or what's chat's choice if chat has any preferences? Which one we do next?
Chat, what do you say first?
There are only a couple people in chat at the moment. Let's see who's actually in chat. A couple people in chat. All right. Well, with chat not responding, what one do you want to go for?
I was thinking before 2023 best games.
Before 2023 best games. All right.
Still trying to fish up old Crafty.
Woo! This is the one I can never spell. There we go. Nihilumbra! Do people remember me playing this one? This is one I put off for ages actually because I wasn't sure I'd actually like it, but it's basically a kind of puzzle game with colours.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's like, yeah, it's usually down to like £2 in the sale and stuff like that. It's
That's on my wish list.
yeah, it's I think I've got codes for it lying around if anyone wants them. I think I've got at least one lying around. Yeah, basically it's a kind of limbo-esque game.
Okay.
And you're using like color powers, and every time you sort of have a color like you see at the side there, it kind of gives you a different power and stuff.
All right. Yep.
So,
I'm with you.
But yeah, it's basically like a little sort of limbo style puzzle game. And it's a lot of fun. It's as I said, dirt cheap, and it's a laugh. So yeah, I'll
I
definitely
fucking play that.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Next one is another one of the find things to do things to get things game, and that one is Sinner 97.
All right.
Sinner 97 is again quite similar to Headhorse Legacy in that it's first person. Actually, no, that one was first person. Never mind. But yeah, basically it's another. You're trying to escape the dungeon, and there's a friendo wandering around that will just basically just try and kill you. But I just had a lot of fun with it. It's currently £3.39. It is on sale. This one you need to collect evidence to prove what's going on. Apparently there was an infuriating note reading mechanic that I have in my notes here, and occasionally there was a glitch where you'd get stuck on a wall or stuck on something while trying to avoid a friend. But otherwise it was pretty good. But yeah, it's basically just
solid.
It's just walking around a kind of sort of Texas Chainsaw style house, trying to avoid the big friend and his determination to try and kill you. I can't remember if this is the one that you.
What is Big Friend? What does Big Friend
What
look
does
like?
Big Friend look like? Is Big Friend featured in? I'm sure he's featured in the trailer somewhere. He
You
must be.
oh,
But yeah, there's things like the oven's on fire, and you need to find a way to put the fire out before you can get what's in the oven. And it's a lot of the little kind of pieces together.
small
I'm sure
environmental. kind of
I'm
puzzles.
sure
Yeah,
there
I'm
was
with
a
you.
scene. Hang on. I think that's Big Friend there. I think he's there. I think that's in there. But let me just see if he's featured in the other advert. There he is. Oh, you didn't see him for long
yep,
because...
that's a big friend. Yep.
Let's just try and pause it again so we can see Big Friend. There he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, he
not a big guy.
So there's some safe rooms. There's some vent systems that you go up and down. Yeah, it's quite a big map. I say big map. It's quite a well over like the map kind of flows quite well over itself. Like it's several layers of like top floor, middle floor, bottom floor kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it's quite fluid as to how you get around, and there's quite a few ways that you can do it, so you can avoid friend or something. But yeah, I definitely would recommend this one quite strongly because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just sounds solidly made, kind of.
Yeah. Next I think was a free game, but it is on this one because it is from last year, which is Flesh War. Flesh War is a short game. It's made by the folks that do Gartner Banban, and a couple of ones like Egghead Company and stuff like that. But basically, the general thing is that you're... it's a very short game, plays in like 10 minutes. There's like 2-3 endings to the game. But you're basically part of a team going in to deal with something in this big war tank at this area. And you need to like clear up after some stuff and then do something. It's not a very long game, so there's quite a lot that sounds like I'd probably spoil if I did told more than that. But yeah, it's a free game. It's got a good atmosphere to it. It's got a couple of endings. It's full playable in like 20-30 minutes, I think, for every ending. I think it's got achievements. I'm trying to remember. It might do. Not sure.
How much was it?
It's free.
Really? I'm gonna go get that right now.
So
Might as fucking well.
Yeah. Oh, there's loads of. When we come onto the free game list, you'll have loads of weird shit to be like, fucking hell. Then we have the game that became massively popular this year because of billionaires killing themselves in submarines, which is Iron Lung.
Yes.
Iron Lung is... I've played quite a lot of Iron Lung clones. A couple of them are quite good. There's at least one that will come up later on today. I think in the like sort of different ideas style one. I think it's definitely an Iron Lung clone there. But yeah, basically it's you're stuck in a small metal box under a sea of blood, and you need to try and find your way to certain map points without being able to see. So you're just using entirely the world of like spinning yourself and using map points and compass points, and trying to go around.
Yeah.
Then you take like this is the map itself, and it has several marks on it that you need to make your way between. And when you take pictures of what's out there, and there's no pictures here to show you what's out there, but it's like snapshot images, and sometimes it's like bones and stuff like that, and sometimes it's something a lot more nightmaric. But yeah, it's if you like claustrophobic horror, and you like if you just like the style of claustrophobic horror that does kind of like, it tells a story. There's not very much you can do because you're basically stuck in this metal box. But if you smack into walls or anything out there like that, you do have to repair the ship and stuff like that because it starts leaking.
I'm pretty sure it's one hit and you're dead. Like.
No, you can smack into a wall a couple of times and then you just have to repair the ship. But I think if you actually no, it might actually be if you.
I don't think there are any repair mechanics because I've actually played this one and I did very badly.
I'm trying to remember if this is the one that if you go and it gives you warnings if you go near a wall, but if you drive straight into it, you just die. Yeah.
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 No, I remember this because
it's fun.
I have no spatial awareness and my coordinate reading skills are not on par. So of course I immediately whacked into a wall, like I think trying to get to the second point of interest.
Yep.
And then went, no, I'm too stressed. This feels too much like work. I'm gonna go back to playing WoW.
Yep. This is very much a claustrophobia style stress builder horror.
Yeah.
Where everything you just kind of, especially when you kind of reach a point of like, it's telling me there's something in front of me. Oh, there's an image of something outside the ship.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Everyone
it's
has
like
seen Cynical's video on it, and there's another one that I can't remember who made it, but there's another very famous person who talked about this when it first came out.
Yeah. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, as I said, I'm very much in the atmospheric horror, and that does it quite well. As far as something weird and different, another free game is Those Who Crawl.
Oh, yeah.
This is one where you have to basically crawl your way through. Like you can see the hands coming in as you're dragging yourself along this tunnel.
It's so good.
It's so
yeah.
atmospheric. It's so claustrophobic.
So good.
And as you're trying to pull yourself up, and sometimes it's a lot more work than other times.
Sometimes it's a bit clunky, but it was so good.
Yeah, sometimes it's very clunky, but it's another free game, and it's very, very interesting as to how it builds horror, and as it goes on, and more things come out.
Take advantage of this faith-fueled charity.
Thank you, AJ.
Subscribe.
AJ's just given us 5 gift subs. Thank you very much, AJ.
Hey.
Things are not as bad as they seem.
We're in ad breaks. You spelt that's AJ wrong, yeah.
Take advantage of this
because you spelled
faith-fueled
it
charity.
wrong.
It will not last.
But yes, thank you very much, AJ.
That's AJ.
That's AJ.
Take advantage of this.
Hang on,
That
where
sounds
is
like
he?
a game as well
Charity.
that I would totally play, but might give me a panic attack.
There's AJ. Thank you,
Hi.
AJ.
Perhaps
Hi.
things are not as bad as they seem.
But yeah, this is Those Who Crawl. It's an interesting game. It's very atmospheric. It's very claustrophobic.
Do you
It
click
builds
for
the
each
horror.
handhold? Do you click for each hand?
Yes.
Right, yeah, I'm
You
with
click
you now.
for. It's either you click for. I can't remember if it's two mouse buttons or 2 finger buttons. But yeah, you have to reach forward and then grab and then pull back to move yourself forward, and stuff.
Ooh,
It's properly like. You have to do a lot more, and you have to get a little bit more involved and things. But it builds the horror very nicely. But yeah, it's a free
I
game,
might
so
watch a playthrough of that. That might actually trigger the claustrophobia a bit too much.
it's very good for that kind of thing. All right, where were we? What's next? Next after this one is oh yes, Bogtavern. Bogtavern, an interesting game about fishing. Well, not really.
Okay.
It's basically like it's kind of if you had Dredge but you didn't have the fishing mechanic, you get Bogtavern.
Okay.
So the Bogtavern is a game basically about finding objects in this sort of backwater swamp area. And it's the tale of, I think it's the captain and the professor. And they just go around and every time you find something, it's like, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with that? And it's very story heavy.
Right.
But it's very atmospheric, and I really enjoyed the fact it was very atmospheric. So yeah, they basically like the story sort of trickles as you go along, but the music's very good, the atmosphere's very good, and it's a kind of there's no jump scares or anything. So it's like it's kind of, as I said, like Dredge without the fishing.
Okay. Because I really enjoyed Dredge this year. I really, really, really liked that one.
This is
Kind of spoke to me in the haunted trans mass kind of way of maybe I could go away myself to a fishing town far, far away.
So yeah, this is £2.50. It's a relatively cheap game. But yeah, it's very sort of like it does a lot of things like you'll come back round to places you've already been before, and you'll be like, did you mean to come back here? Is this just recognizing this? Is this actually different? Is it the same? Because it looks the same, but something's off. It just has a nice kind of it's kind of linear in fairness, but you do things like you scan and you find like things just in the water that you need to pick up, and then that again just unravels a little bit more story and teases it out. It's a very relaxing horror experience. But yeah,
The horror of going to work as a fisherman.
yeah, Well, kind of, but you're. There's two of them, and one's trying to do research, and the other one's just kind of there because the other one wants to do research. So it's kind of the story that the two of them sort of share as they go along. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Then we had Umbra. This is one that was from very early in the year that was very much an Outlast clone. Now, Outlast clones kind of came and went for the most part, but I think for all the Outlast clones I played, I believe this is one of the better ones. There's a lot of just weird shit going on. There is basically just avoiding people trying to stab you, which is kind of like Outlast is, where you don't really have a defense of any kind. You're just kind of running away.
That very 2012 kind of horror game.
Yeah. It's a solo dev game, I believe. I think there was a couple of bugs when we played through it, but for the most part it was quite decent. If you like Outlast, it's kind of the same kind of style. It is relatively cheap, but yeah, it's like £2.70. It's probably a decent shout if you like that kind of style of horror, where you're kind of, I don't want to say helpless, but it has that kind of, you're trying to avoid a big stabby friend as you're trying to make your way through a dark and dreary environment. So yeah. The next one and the final one on this list, I have to go to Google to find because it's from Itch instead of thing. So give me a second. The next one is of course from the wonderful people. Well, the wonderful man that brought the word Choo Choo Charles. And he did a very short game. He did a very, 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 very short game called No Snake Hotel. It plays in 5 minutes, and the whole thing about it is that you go into a hotel, which is there's guaranteed no snakes. Well, 99.99% no snake guarantee. I think you can gather where this is going to end, but it is free. It's on itch.io, 2-star games, itch.io, No Snake Hotel. That's it. It's 5 minutes long. It's from the guy who made Choo Choo Charles. It's a laugh. It's 5 minutes long. You know what's going to fucking happen. Just go have a laugh. It was made in, it was a 24-hour game challenge, I think it was, that he said he was in for. So
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's stupid, but you can have a laugh with it. Alright, so that's the ones from previous years. Shall we do the free games from this year then?
Yeah. Let's keep this free vibe going.
Free vibe, alrighty.
I like the happy vibes. I like the this isn't shit. We're gonna leave the this is shit till right at the end, I think.
Yes, because the ones at the end are bad. They're very bad. Including genuinely some that have the score they have because they literally gave me headaches or migraines.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how good they were. But we're into good free games. This is games from 2023, which are free games on Steam.
Kind of like those Christmas treats I made the other day that have that specific warning.
Yep. If those games had a warning, it'd be a lot better. But
this was meant to be fun.
For now, we are doing free games from 2023 that are good. I'm going to start with this one. Just keep the lights on. I'll just put the video playing in the background. So, this one, you're a detective. And if I remember, this is the one that your wife died and you kind of crawled into a bottle. And you're sort of this, like, sort of slightly weird drunken detective. But you've been sent to check this building out where there's this convent building where there's been lots of nuns dying over the years. It's got some puzzles, it's got some objects to find and use. You see it there, it's a animated style. It's a sort of scroller more than a like first person, second person kind of thing. So yeah, you sort of wander around You do a couple of challenges, like for example, there's a challenge about putting lights out. You move things around. You can research. You can, again, the stories as much as you want to embrace. There's like newspaper headlines and stuff that you can read and learn more about what's going on. But overall, for a free little puzzle game, it was quite fun. It's a good little game.
I'm liking the animations from what I see.
It has very nice animation. I believe, I can't remember if this is a solo dev game. I can't remember. But yeah, it does have its own music. It has a, as I said, it is free, and it's got quite a good story to it. So yeah, that's that one. Next we move on to one we played the other week, which is Joker Show, which is another find items to do things game. This whole game is that you've been asked. Basically, you summon a Joker or a clown of some kind because you're left alone. So you think, why the fuck not? I'll just burn a Joker card and summon some sort of devil. But then the sort of Joker devil turns up, and then you have to basically find all the items to open the door to run away. It is a bit janky, but it is a free game, and yeah, there's lots of Russian, because apparently it's a Russian game. I didn't know that. Isn't that just Labyrinth? I mean, Labyrinth is 90% being distracted by David Bowie's crotch. Maybe that's just me.
Can we talk about very briefly how Doctor Who became Labyrinth for 2 minutes on Christmas Day?
I didn't actually watch it. What happened? I've not watched Doctor Who in years. What happened?
Okay. A baby got kidnapped by the Goblin King.
Hey!
There was a musical number.
Fantastic.
At this point, Rowan was feeling quite unwell and was just lying there in a state of confusion and slight queasiness as this entire musical sequence took place. The Doctor was singing. He out-musicaled the musical villains.
Was this Tennant?
No, this is the new fella.
Ah, okay. I've not seen who the new fella is yet, so yeah.
So it was his first ever episode, and it had him out musicaling the Goblin King.
Ah, okay.
It was I liked the sidekick. I liked the premise of where it was going. I liked the energy, and then musical number came out of nowhere, and it kind of baffled me for a while.
Fair. Let's get up.
There you go. Yeah, there's my Doctor Who thoughts. I've been playing in my mind since Monday.
That's fine. Alright, so yeah, anyway, that was Joker Show. Again, it's a free game. If you like the, creep around, find items, avoiding friend while doing stuff, it's pretty good for what it is. The next one is something very different. It's Snotty Sewer. Now, this is another, many of you will say, I've seen that sewer asset many times before. Yes, but have you been chased by basically day-glow jelly beans while you try and find a way out of it? Because there they are. You just see them occasionally at the side of the screen there. They're there. Just day-glow jelly beans just running at you, trying to catch you. Doing that to you when they do. Yeah, it's stupid. It's fun. It's basically just trying to escape the sewer while being chased by giant multicolored jelly bean men. It's fun. It's free. Go look at it. Don't really have much else to say to that. What do you think, Ron?
Short and sweet and to the point, and yep, those are glowing jelly beans. Those are jelly
the AI
beans.
is actually not bad. The AI is actually relatively decent. It's not got the sort of stupidity of a lot of cheap games AIs. But yeah, it's got a decent one more run feel to it, and that's kind of what you want with this kind of game.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Oh, I dropped the thing.
Then we get on to the one I have recommended to a few people this year, which is the Pulse of Evil.
Ooh.
Pulse of Evil is a top-down game. You basically get a weapon and you have to try and... your inventory is a drag and place down, so you have to make everything fit in your inventory in a very different way from most games. Because you place it down, you don't it doesn't lock to blocks, you just put it, so you can spin it and put it in very, very fuckery ways, but it is fun. When you die, up to that point, basically everything, that's a noise. When you die, everything to that point is still dead, so you just have to run back to your body to get your stuff back. So everything you've picked up and stuff on the way, you will still leave at your body. There's a final boss fight at the end, which is relatively challenging. It's got a good gun feel to it. There are basically massive flesh hearts you need to find and destroy to open the way to the final boss. There was an achievement to finish it in 10 minutes for some fucking reason, but I think it takes about half an hour to play through. But yeah, it's a free game. The inventory's like that. We are trying to put things in by freehand dropping, and it's just, yeah, it's mad.
Kind of nice how the game about flesh makes you, use your fleshy, meaty hands and do things in the game more than usual. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's an enjoyable little game. As I said, it is free. I have got Darren to play it. Darren really enjoyed it as well. Yeah, it's just fun. It's got melee weapons. It's got guns and stuff. The final boss is challenging. Pulse of Evil.
Ah, yes.
Final boss is challenging enough that even if you don't struggle with the rest of the game, you may struggle with the final boss, which is always a good sign. And then the ending is just very silly. But it's a good little game. It's definitely a good little game. It's definitely worth looking at. Then the next one in the free games is there's many games called Mannequin. But there's one free game called Mannequin. And that's this one. And it plays in 10 minutes. It's absolutely fucking stupid. But it does atmosphere relatively well. The background noises are good.
It's the one that Block suggested?
Yeah, that's what Block suggested. General ambience is good. Augmented the game well. It does feel like a substantial little game, even if it's 10 minutes long. And even then, it's 10 minutes and probably a one-note joke of once you've played it, you probably don't want to play it again because you don't really need to. But for a 10-minute free game that does it well, it does it well. That's all I can really say.
Yeah,
so
all you need, really.
Then we get on to another puzzle game. Another free puzzle game, which was the House of E. House of E is a story-driven puzzle game with horror elements and a creepy atmosphere. There was one point that drove me fucking mad with this game, because there is one point that makes no fucking sense that you need to do, which is the big caveat I will have with this game. But for the most part, it is a decent little puzzle game. You're basically walking around a mansion, trying to find stuff to solve. Again, it's a sort of find things to solve puzzles to do things game. And there is one point which involves, I think it's something on the balcony if I remember right, that drove me insane. But it's like a little puzzle game, and it does a lot of things pretty well. Yeah. And for little puzzle games, I always enjoy a little horror themed puzzle game. And I think for free games, I think it does quite well.
Yeah. The bar is on the ground, it has cleared the bar, we clap.
Oh yeah, but the number of ones that fall over the bar is hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the exact point I'm getting at.
Yeah. Next we do is 13 IU. I don't know how to pronounce this one. 13 IU is it's basically a Little Nightmares clone.
Okay.
But it's got a third-person, first-person toggle button. And the controls are, when you switch the camera, the controls switch as well, and it's very fucking weird in that regard. But so it's quite challenging in that Little Nightmares does things like you hit a switch and you have to run to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
I remember this one having a very short grace period with a lot of those things, so some of them were very slim to get to, but they were still doable. They just were sometimes took multiple retries to get them. But it had a good checkpoint system. It was basically, as I said, more Little Nightmares. And it did have that first third-person toggle camera thing, which made it really interesting and different. But it's a free, as I said, it's a free game. There's something massively just good about something like this that's free. A lot of people wonder why.
It's a formula that works, even if it is stolen.
And there's very excitement, as you just saw. But this thing, when people do ask why are games like this free, and sometimes it's literally something like it was someone's final project that they're not allowed to legally sell. I don't know if this is on that case, but that's why sometimes you get fantastic games that are completely free on Steam, because they were someone or some group's final project. That was this case with Flicker of Hope. Did you ever see Flicker of Hope, Ron?
I don't think so.
I know I didn't play it this year, but I will show it as that's Flicker of Hope is this one. It's basically another Little Nightmares clone, but you're playing as a candle, and you just basically run around as a candle, and you're trying to
that one.
This one they're not allowed to sell legally because it was someone's final project. So it's on Steam and it's free and you can play it, but the reason they can't sell it or take money for it is because it was a final project. It wasn't. It's like something that they got marked for a uni thing. They're not allowed to legally sell it.
Oh, that's a shame.
So that's why there's things like this on Steam that are really good games, but they can't actually charge for them. But yeah, anyway, that was a very massive tangent just to say that there are good games that are free for a reason, rather than just all being like that. Final things on 30 now. It's basically Little Nightmares clone. It's a good laugh, and it's cheap. It's free. So yeah, if you like Little Nightmares, you'll probably like it as well. It was fun. We've got a couple more in this category. They're all kind of weirdly different, actually. The next few. Helps when I can spell, doesn't it? The next one was the Wailer. Now this was a very interesting one. This is a very stylized horror, and that very kind of I don't know how you describe that really. It's very sort of
cell shaded.
Yeah, it's that kind of style. Basically,
aesthetic.
You're running around trying to solve. I think there are some little puzzle elements. It is a little bit confusing at the start, I believe, but the main reason it's confusing, I remember this one, because it doesn't tell you there's a button to use things. It tells you every other button in the game, but doesn't tell you there's a use button. That's the problem with this one. But yeah, there's one puzzle that does require a lot of backtracking, but for the most part, it's a fun little game. It's something different. You are avoiding, I think there's a giant creature at one point that does try and stalk and follow you. So it does atmosphere well, it does art style well. I think it had some kind of background music or atmosphere or ambience that was really good as well, if I remember right. But yeah, it was just a very enjoyable random little game to play.
Yeah.
I know a lot of these are just going to get in very kind of like, but for some of them it's literally just like, I only remember little bits about them.
Yeah. When you play 600 games in a year.
Yeah. The next one, if I can find it, I think it was this one. Is it this one? Yeah, it was this one. It's a game called Endless. It has 6 endings. This is very much a Stanley Parable SCP style game. The endings are different enough from each other that it's actually something weird and different, but yeah, it's...
Your sins are burned into your soul is ringing all of my Catholic alarm bells. I think all the run-throughs are pretty short, but it is free, and it does have that kind of... I guess I think you remember it was Stanley Parable without the narrator, so you kind of walk through and you follow this path and do a couple of things, and then you just find a random ending. And the fucking point of Stanley Parable.
Yeah, but it was basically like you go along and you do this, and something happens, and then something very different happens in the other ending, and so on and so on, and it's like, yeah, there's lots of just weird shit going on, and you just find more and more weird shit the more you like go and explore around. So yeah, it's an interesting little one. Again, as far as free games go, it's something very different. It's something more Yeah, it's just got a more narrative ending style than a lot of the other ones. Then we get to the one I definitely can never spell right. Speluncaphobia. Oh, they start charging for it now. Oh, it's gonna have to get moved. Yeah, this has gone from being a free game to being charged for now, so this is gonna have to go on a different list. But I'll do it now anyway. And maybe they've done a full version now, because maybe it's the demo I played before. I'm pretty sure it was the full version I played before. But yeah, this is another caving one. It does a lot of you're looking for missing people in a cave.
Right.
The claustrophobia is very good. The yeah, it does a lot of things very nicely, and it does that atmospheric horror very well. As I said, this was a free game. I think they've now charged for it, but yeah, it was a free game at one point.
That's a no-go for me, simply because of the claustrophobia. I cannot, I'm afraid, I just cannot.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll just
I'm a
move.
coward about one thing in particular. Is tight space.
Well, let's move on to Golgotha. Golgotha is a game about walking. It's a walking sim about walking through. I think it's like an old subway station in England. It's a very weird one, but it's basically just a walking sim about going through this urban environment. And yeah, it's just does atmosphere quite well, if I remember right. It does a very good sense of atmosphere. Yeah, that's all I can remember about it. I think that's all that really happens. I don't think there's actually much like, you know, scares or anything. I think it's just very atmospheric, and I remember it very positively.
I mean, to be fair, the tube is terrifying on the best of days, so very easy material there. Surprised more games don't do it.
Yeah. Then we get the one that's not horror, but I loved it anyway, which is Tukoni. Tukoni was an adorable free point-and-click puzzle game where you play this little man with his little acorn backpack. He is fucking wonderful and adorable, and he was a fantastic fandom change of pace for us to play throughout the year. So
Aww.
I don't care if it's
Just
not
a little
horror.
guy.
It's going in. It's amazing, and I loved it. It's so just. It's the kind of thing you need after some of the trash we play. So this is Tukoni the Traveller. He has his little story. He basically picks up things on his little walk, and then he like uses some of them to give to people, things to help things out. It's a very short game, but it is a lot of fun, and I really liked it. So, back to the weird, strange games. We have the Obscura Experiment. This is basically, if you took the gore out of Dead Space, you basically get this game. Has got multiple difficulty settings, so you can like properly ramp this up to be relatively difficult. But it's basically just, I think you're on a space station, you're maneuvering around, just getting things to basically just get out of there. But yeah, as I said, it's kind of basically if you took all the gore out of Dead Space, you'd basically get this game. It's just maneuvering around. As you see, there's people there, and they just, you look away and then they're suddenly gone, I believe. Oh no, they're there.
Okay.
They're just pulled away and stuff. But there's no blood or gore in this one, but it's very psychological.
Okay.
And a lot of it is basically the boiled down Dead Space thing of just running around, finding the room you're going to, getting back from the room, avoiding stuff. But it was good. That was good enough. As I said, it was a free game as well, so
Yeah.
had a lot. The problem is what you're avoiding in this one is literally like a giant swirling vortex that's chasing you.
Right, okay, yeah. Can't even do a monster.
Yeah. It's not a monster. It's a giant. There it is. Giant swirling vortex with hands coming out of it.
What was it that Silent Hill Downpour did? Because I really fucking loved that game. No one else seemed to.
I don't remember. It's been a long time. Silent Hill
okay, so
Downpour.
story time. 14-year-old Rowan with a shitty TV in their room, first ever PS3 game ever played, Silent Hill Downpour. As a result, Rowan kind of loves this game. In a slightly strange way. I really like the symbolism, I really like how they use monster design. However, there were these fucking stupid as hell chase sections where you had to just run around and find your way through a maze.
Yeah,
and this
I remember those.
wibbly-wobbly vortex was coming after you, and it did not fit the rest of the game, and it felt very much like it had to be there.
Yep.
And I did not care for those sections. I think the only time I died, like, repeatedly over and over again was one of the mazes I just couldn't find my way through. I was just running past one of the corridors every single time.
Yeah.
While trying to do it. And when I finally got through, I was like, thank fuck, and then I could get back into the really grim story. And
I remember that being really, it's like, you do this really nice atmosphere, then they pull people out to do a chase scene, then you go back in again, it just feels so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that the choice system was a little bit cheap, but I didn't really mind it. Again, I had nothing to compare it to, so I thought it was kind of neat and kind of emphasized the pointlessness of some parts, but, you know, it maybe wasn't all that pointless. It probably could have done more with those. It could have done a lot more, but I did enjoy them.
Yeah.
That was a good game. People really shit on that for reasons I cannot understand.
I don't see. I think the Silent Hill games. I remember I played two. I remember enjoying two. I think I played the first one as well. I didn't play any after that because I didn't get a PS3 for years. And then when I finally did, I played other things.
Because that's on PS2, isn't it?
I'm trying to remember.
3 and 4 are definitely on PS2.
I don't know. I think when I had my PS2 years most of the time when I was drunk at uni, so
yeah,
I tend to be mostly playing WoW at the time. But yeah.
Silent Hill 3 has the only section in any horror game that has legitimately made me stop playing, get up, turn on all the lights, and double check my front and back doors. Silent Hill 3 managed that, and I am solidly impressed. I didn't find 2 scary. Unpopular opinion. I found it relaxing.
I liked the storytelling in 2.
Yeah.
Which I think is the reason why I enjoyed it so much. I don't. Then again,
it wasn't scary. It was just grim. You know.
Yeah.
Like there was no part of that where I was terrified.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of was calm throughout it, if finding it upsetting. You know. 3 was the one that actually managed to scare me. 4 I never finished. I will get round to it. It's on my list. But then Downpour, people shit on that one, and you know what? That has the atmosphere from 2 and 3. It's fucking scary. I like how you have police chatter coming in over the radio. I thought that was really fucking cool. You know, instead of the weird siren-esque, you know, just static from the radio.
Yeah.
You've got it being twisted to kind of fit with this completely new character's own story. It didn't piggyback off of 1 or 2 again, which I'm very thankful for. It managed to do something unique. And you know what? I genuinely love the monsters in that one. Yeah. That one little sequence where every time you turn around and it replaces a tire hanging from a rope with a hanging body.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you turn.
Yeah.
Little things like that actually managed to add to the atmosphere. The way you'd find radios around the place that would play music, which then led to someone else trapped in the town who was playing the station, like in control of it.
Yeah.
And he's trying to understand what's going on, but he cannot work it out. Again, it's what Silent Hill needed as a sequel, minus those chase sequences. I'm sorry, that was a tangent.
I mean, no, it's fine. I think that I would really love them to do a Silent Hill anthology thing. I mean, I know they say, "Oh, new Silent Hill's coming out next year," and I'm both looking forward to it and not, because since to be blunt, Kojima's Kojima, and sometimes he'll make some really good things, sometimes he'll make things terrible. But Konami being trusted to make their own Silent Hill is nervous to me.
Yeah, I don't want Konami to be in charge of it, and I think that's why I like Downpour, because it weren't Konami. They completely handed it off to another American studio who went out of business. Like, this is one of their only things they ever fucking made, and you know what? It kind of slaps, guys.
I can't help
but stand it.
I would love them to release then again a remastered Silent Hill. I'm surprised they haven't with all the years of like Capcom re-releasing all the Resident Evil and milking those dry, you know.
Yeah,
But
Silent Hill still feels like difficult to get get
Yeah, I mean, I have Silent
'Cause you
Hill
need
2
physical
next
copies.
door. I have Silent Hill 2 next door, but I got that off one of my exes like 10 years ago because she was clearing out and she said, "Do you want any of these games? Because I'm chucking them all away." And I was like, "I did not realize you had Silent Hill." And she's like, "Yeah, if you want to just take it." I was like, all right.
Yeah, no,
cool.
go for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've got one of the director's cut versions for Silent Hill 2 and 3.
Ooh, nice.
4, I've just got like the standard one, Silent Hill: The Room. Again, I started that one, and like then busyness ramped up in my life, and I just couldn't commit to it.
I always remember that one as having the I think it was Yahtzee did a version of that was to the tune of a song from Reeves and Mortimer.
Who's that? Zero Punctuation?
Yeah, well, it was the guy who did Zero Punctuation until he's left recently, but this is like years and years and years ago. He did it was like, I never noticed that these two were the same, like these two could be played over each other really well, and I was like, oh, okay. And every time I hear that, I think of that. I'll find that after this and I'll let you hear it.
Fuck yeah, because I've been watching Zero Punctuation since like 2008.
Yeah, because he's now on was it second one he's gone to now.
I don't know. I need to look into it.
I think it's
I kind of watch him on the side, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's second one because he left Escapist after the whole. They fired someone and everyone went, "What the fuck are you doing firing someone?" And they went, "No, you're not above us." And everyone went, "Yeah, we kind of are," and left.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I saw it briefly from the outside. I only really watched Yatsu's videos kind of when they came up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've literally been watching Zero Punctuation since I was, oh god, how the fuck old was I in 2008? Like 12?
Yeah.
I was a children. Why was I watching that? It was the Amnesia the Dark Descent one.
Ah, yes.
That's the first jam coming out of the walls. There are lines from that I just go around echolalia-ing sometimes. Pissing blimey, there's jam coming out of the walls. Oh dear.
Alright, well, I'm going to finish these free ones so we can look at the other ones. But the only two... That's alright, there's only two left. Teleforum. It's a weird one, it's like a found footage one. But the footage will play and then you have a choice of what you want to do. So it's like a sort of point and click adventure.
Okay.
But it's, as you can see, there's like choices come up and it's like text based and there's like video. It's kind of almost FMV meets point and click.
Okay.
There are multiple endings. There's more things that unravel as you go along. There's more, like, there's one point where it's like look around the room and find things to ask this woman about, and you can choose 3 random things or 4 random things of like the 15 that are there. And every time you ask them, they'll tell you something different about them, and then when you do the next run again, which things seem slightly off the next run, like people it's like, you know, that kind of deja vu of, I've been here before. Have I been here before? And it's that kind of little things change as it goes along. It's a weird one, but it was an interesting one. Again, it's a free game. If you like kind of weird, I guess kind of found footage, kind of point and clicky, but yeah, if you like that kind of style of horror, then yeah, look up Teleforum because it's interesting.
Kind of 90s FMV sort of video
Kind of,
game from way back in the day.
The FMV is very sort of short sections. Like it's like you go in and then someone will start talking and then you'll just get a choice and then it's kind of it's kind of weird, but it's an interesting one. It's something very different from everything else. And then your choices make a difference as to what path you go down for the rest of the thing and so on. And then you kind of, if you look at certain things at a certain place at a certain time, you can find more things and find more information, find detail. So yeah, it's a weird, bizarre one, but it is interesting.
Fair enough.
And finally, I say finally because I played this the other day and I loved it. This is Unsorted Horror. This is basically 4 of them, and then one is a Battleship clone for some fucking reason. But 4 of them are very good very like detailed machinery and dread is a good way of summing up. It's like, imagine Iron Lung, but it's puzzle games, and there's 4 very short ones, and they're very on theme of that kind of big, chunky, like almost diesel punk style horror.
Okay.
This is just totally my jam. I love this.
Sounds fucking cool.
I love these. These were a lot of fun. There's one, as I said, there's one that wants to be a fucking battleship clone, where you're basically playing salvo battleship with buildings. It doesn't really make any sense. But the other 4 are very strong. The other 4 are very much a, again, kind of the world of Iron Lung, that kind of diesel punk style little puzzle games, and they're just, yeah, I love them. I will glow about this for fucking weeks. I love these. These are really fucking fun. This is totally my jam. If you ever want to get me on side or anything, tell me it's a fucking diesel punk dread-filled horror game, and I will be totally on it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So, yeah. But that...
Grim and rusty.
Very grim, very rusty, very kind of... Everything is just dripping a little bit more oil than it should. Yeah. And
you don't want to touch anything, you're going to catch tetanus.
Yeah. That kind of overall thoughts in it. Yeah, that's that. Alright, well I guess we should go on to best games of this year.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the weird, wonderful ones, and then we'll end on the terrible ones. So,
let's do this.
So games from this year that I think are more than worth plugging to people. Start with this one. One Bit Survivor. I love this game. This is a fantastic game. This is currently on sale, 25% off. You can buy it with a soundtrack as well if you want. I would suggest so because it's awesome. Basically, it's... I'll again just play the trailer while we talk. So you're doing like little levels of, you need to find the gas can and then get back to the car to move to the next level. And you're doing 28 of these little levels to go along, because it's you and your cat. She's there. You can see her, your screen. You're trying to get to this salvation at the end of it all. And you have a gun that has, I think it's 4 bullets to start with, and you have to you pick up, like, there's like health packs, there's ammo packs, and there's an upgrade thing within every 7 there's an upgrade. And the zombies only move when you do, or only react when you react. So it kind of becomes much more of a puzzle than trying to be reactive, if you know what I mean. It's very much like you take 1 step forward, any zombies will take 1 step in that direction, and you can press a button to make them all move around, and it's like it just becomes... It also triggers that sort of edge like Super Hot had, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you react, they react. It's like if you take your time and go, well, I'll shoot this one, and then I'll do that, and then you can just take your time and think about what you're going to do. And the first 7 is quite easy ones, and the second 7 has, instead of having just 1 box of loot, 1 box of like either health or ammo, it has 2 boxes, and then the third lot have 3 boxes, and then the fourth lot have 4 boxes. And you get little upgrades. If you get the upgrade ring, which is like a spanner, through one of the boxes in the 7, you will get an upgrade at the end of it. And the upgrades can be, it gives you a choice of 2. It could be anything like, you get an extra bullet slot, extra health slot. Your bullets do knockback damage, they shoot through, there's all these little elements and stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's one of the few games I've gone back to and played after playing it in TTO, which is very fucking rare for me. So this is one of my like proper game of the year games for me.
Yeah, definitely. I like the art style.
Yeah, it's literally one of those games that I just find myself casually playing. Just when I'm wanting just something to sort of take my mind off something else, it's one that I just find myself casually playing. I just really love it.
And it has a cat.
It has a cat, yeah. A cat which you can switch the ears of in menu.
Oh. I'm annoying mine in real life right now. Hello,
I don't know
Holly.
where mine is at the moment.
Hi.
He's asleep somewhere.
Hi, Squidgy baby. Let me bring you over here so
So-
the world can hear you purr.
The next one is this one, which is Notebook Entries Volume 1. Gameplay-wise, this wasn't the best game, I will say, but atmospheric, storytelling, tension-building horror just went so well with it. And I am if you have a good storytelling method and a good like it was lots of different styles as it went along. And if you have a good storytelling, tension-building horror, I will like bite down on it hard because I love that kind of stuff. And it knows how to build atmosphere. It knows how to build tension, and it feels much more like an art project than an actual gaming game. If you know what I mean. Actually, it's from last year. Fuck. Oh well. There's another thing I've fucked up. Oh, never mind.
Which one?
Notebook entries. It's 22.
Oh.
I thought it was this year as well. It's fine. But yeah, I will definitely say this one. If you like atmosphere and you like tension building horror that understands actual horror, I would definitely say Notebook Entries is one to look at.
Damn you and your entities.
Yes, I keep saying entities rather than entries. I don't know why.
And it makes me angry.
Then we go right back to the start of the year with Cannibal Abduction, which is another weird VHS style horror of find things to do things to escape friend in the house style game.
Yep.
But this one was a lot of fun. It was yeah, it's just basically just wandering around a house, avoiding the killer, finding items so you can open more stuff and do things. And it's from the folk that did Night of the Scissors, which I don't think I liked that much, but this one was very, very strong. I really enjoyed this one. I think it's a very well done explore, find items to use items style game. This one is currently £3.60. It's also in bundles with other things, but I don't know what the other things are. But yeah, I definitely would say that this one is worth the time to look up, because it is quite a good one. Then we had, if I can spell it right, we had Canine. Canine is on sale on £1.50. Canine is a game about going to find your dog that got kidnapped by an evil corporation. It's you're wandering around this weird lab trying to find your dog, which you do find at the end. But it's like there's some weird zombie thing. There's it's basically you're finding keys to open doors and avoiding friend again. But there's a good story behind it all. It's just a really fun little game. For what it is.
Okay. Sounds cute. Take care of your doggos.
Then we get to atmospheric games like Welcome to Kowloon. Welcome to Kowloon was an atmospheric game about finding an apartment and then having to run away because there's spirits there that are very angry. Has puzzle elements, does atmosphere very well, has a couple of weird jump scares if I remember right. I remember my big thing was the crosshair dot doesn't line up to what you're actually doing with it. So that could be really fucking fiddly. But and it's a little bit expensive if I remember right. Oh no, it's cheap enough though, it's only £6. Yeah. It's but it's a good atmospheric game. It does it was just really fun to play through, and as I said, a few weird jump scares, a couple of puzzle elements, but yeah, very atmospheric and very much just fun.
What kind of atmosphere? What's the environment like?
It's, I can't remember if this is set. Now, where is this set? Is this one set in China or is this one set in like Korea or something? I can't remember. But it's very much a. It's like you go in the apartment and then there's like just this feeling that something's there.
Okay.
And it's again just it does very much more an atmosphere than like shadows or anything.
Yeah.
Has a sort of building sense of get the fuck out rather than anything else. If I'm thinking of the right one, I might be thinking of the wrong one. This is
What's
probably
that description of The Haunting of Hill House that I really fucking like? Like, every single wall was in one direction, just a little bit longer than the eye can endure, and in the other direction, be the barest possible of narrowest margins that you could deem acceptable. Just the dimensions of the house itself, you know? Architecture is a bit scary.
Alright, well, then we get on to, it's more of a shitty one. It was more of a, it starts off as your security attendant, and then you jump into the giant flesh pit, and then you go basically turn into somewhat of a Doom-like game of you trying to deal with all the creatures. This is 6 meat under.
Okay.
It does have a... It does try and do the sort of, there's lore, there really is lore, but and there's a sort of, do X, Y times thing.
Yeah.
But it does feel like you're going from boss fight to boss fight to boss fight with a couple of little puzzles in between. It plays in like 2 hours. It's a laugh. It's got the fights actually are quite a lot of fun to them. It's a solid 2-hour game. Like, I know some people will be like, how much is this one actually? £7. It's about £6.70. But I know a lot of people will be like £6.70 for a 2-hour game seems a lot, but it just has a good gameplay to it, It's one of those few ones that you're just like, that's actually been a decent, fun 2 hours of a game.
Yeah, instead of, okay, I'm trying to see the positives. Which happens a lot.
Yes, it does. Alright, let's keep rattling through these. Next one is another one I've told a lot of people about. This is currently £2.50. It's always £2.50 actually, that's the maximum price it is. This is Lake Haven Chrysalis. If you like your Resident Evil games, you will like this because it's basically just a Resident Evil style game. You are wandering around I think it's an abandoned house, trying to find things so you can find item game, and it's very Resident Evil. It's even so much down to the PS1 style graphics and things. It's just fun to play through. It's got some interesting little puzzles. It's got it's just actually it has some good puzzles. I'm trying to remember. I think it's just got the Resident Evil style puzzles of you find the thing says put the clock at the right time and you that kind of thing. I think that's what the style game is, but yeah, it's basically like a PS1 style Resident Evil game. It's good. It's cheap for what it is, and it's very good for what it is.
Yeah. Rip off things that are good.
God, yeah.
You might learn.
Then we get to Family Curse. Family Curse is currently half priced at £2.49. If you liked Visage, and I'll go on a very small tangent here to say I liked the first chapter of Visage, which is Dolores' chapter. I felt all the other chapters were very lacking in Visage because I felt that Dolores' chapter was very fleshed out and very story heavy and very good. But the other 2 chapters were just they fell so flat because they just weren't as, I don't know if it was just weren't as deeply dug through or what, but yeah, they just were missing something. This is very much like Dolores' chapter in Visage, if I remember right. This is a couple of weird puzzles, couple of weird and wonderful things being kind of fucky. Yeah, I would say if you want to try something that's Visage-like, nothing else has really come close to being that kind of style. So, yeah.
What kind of gameplay are we talking about here? What perspective are we in?
It's first person. It's first person kind of wandering around a house with weird lighting. Because all the fucking lighting is fucky. But it's like you find something lying around and you go, what the fuck's that? And as you examine it, things start happening or sounds start happening somewhere else, and then you go and investigate those,
Right.
and it kind of pulls you in that way.
Haunted puzzle piece kind of one.
Kind of haunted. Yeah, it's as like I said, my brain can only describe it as like Visage, but because it very much reminded me of the first chapter of Visage, which is the bit I really liked about Visage.
I've never played it, so.
Oh, Visage is a very strange one. It's like, because you're wandering around this house, and there's things like you'll open a door and you hear a weird sound, and you'll turn around and suddenly there's two doors behind you all in one.
Right.
And you go through the door, and this leads to this like weird off corridor, and you turn around, the door behind you's missing, and that kind of stuff. It's that kind of psychological fuckery kind of thing, and that's only just chunks of it. But yeah, and then it's things like you hear a record player starting in another room, and you'll be like, what the fuck is that? And as you walk through, you'll just see this random old person just waltzing through the room, and then they'll just disappear, and you'll be like, right, what the fuck was that? Why the fuck was what? It's just that kind of psychological, but in a different way, from a lot of
psychological, weird ass, trippy sort of horror. Yeah.
I mean, people say things like, "Oh yeah, do you mean like Visage and Madison?" I was like, Madison was terrible. Madison was genuinely a terrible game. I didn't like Madison at all. No.
Is that the one about the
camera?
Like art.
Madison is the one about the camera and taking pictures of things.
Okay, the one I vaguely know about was like a guy who makes art, and his art is evil.
Oh, that's Layers of Fear.
Right, yeah, that one, yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I played through Layers of Fear, then I played through the remaster of Layers of Fear, and I can honestly say on both, no.
Yeah.
Layers of Fear 2 especially is terrible. Layers of Fear 1 is at least tries, but Layers of Fear 2, its obsession with mannequins is that's a night I'm never going to get back.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should finish these before I.
Sorry.
No, it's just fine. I'm just very aware I'll happily get sidetracked, and then we'll be sitting talking about other weird stuff for a while. Next one is Rat Cage. Rat Cage is currently on sale. Rat Cage is basically Little Nightmares, but you're a mouse.
Yay!
So good.
There's no other thing I can say about it. Yep, you're a little mouse. There are
Take it for the world.
there are mouse traps about that you need to avoid. There's people that try and catch you need to avoid. Yeah, it's basically a game. It's basically Little Nightmares, but you're a mouse, and it's great. Play it.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yep.
There's nothing else. Just...
Sweet and simple, to the point.
And then the next one is Looking Up a Seal on the Ceiling. It's a very short psychological drama. This is very much a talking sim. This is very much a this is very much an art project rather than an actual game, but it's addressing a different type of psychological horror from most things. It's currently like $2. It's very cheap and simple, but it's like, yeah, it's. I'm trying to remember how I could word this. It's like 3 endings. It's somewhat weird, but you go through and there's like little elements that just it's kind of like a visual novel. It's kind of point and click visual novel, but it's just very interesting. It's got like really nice little, really interesting points to it. It's a very strange one. I really don't know how to best describe it. I really don't. I just feel like I've lost Rowan completely on that one.
Sorry, no. Someone actually came online, and so I'm saying hello to them.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, I
do like the colours. Looking at that one though.
It's a very interesting little style game. It's very different from most of the things we played. So yeah, and the final one for the games I would recommend this year, which I played the other day, is Locked. Unique art style, about basically you waking up in a toilet, as you can see here. You have to avoid Friendo, who is a giant wobbly man with a hammer. There he is. it's another little puzzle meets find items to do things style game.
Getting a lone survivor kind of vibe from it.
Yeah, it's very weird. It does have a little bit of body horror style to it. But the art style is very interesting. It's very different, and for a little puzzle game for like things like $2, yeah, $1.69. It's really interesting. I found it a lot of fun. Friendo does get bollock naked at one point and starts wandering around, and you have to wait for that point before you can hit him with something to get the key to leave. But yeah, it just does a few things very interesting and and the art style as well is really interesting. It's just another one that I just like to bring attention to say that it's actually quite a bit of fun. So yeah, that is the good games for this year. Well, almost all the good games for this year. We have some very quick games I'm going to rattle through for weird, different games. If you want something different. Because we have played some different things. First of all, if you'd like to play a game about dog sledding, it's a horror where things like, I looked at this and going like, why would this be a decent game? And I'm looking back at it, I was like, why would this be a decent game? But when I look at what I wrote for it, I seem to really enjoy it at the time. Yeah, all I remember looking back is me kept falling over on the dog sled. But it does something very different from most. It has a style of storytelling that's very atmospheric. It's different, it's engaging in a very different way from everything else we played. So if you like something in a very strange and different style, that was Cave Chase. It's currently £3.49.
Yeah, I think you were telling me about that one where you literally just run a dog sled. Yeah, I've seen that, and it's just trees slowly closing in.
Yeah, it's something strange about it. The other couple of strange ones we have is like this one, which is the Crimping, this one is set in an American haunted location, somewhere in Oregon. It's fully AI voiced. It's not that long. For some reason, there's an achievement if you let the piano play the entire of The Entertainer, which it wants to do if you click on it. Yeah. But for something that embraces a fully historical location and does a full story with full AI voice and stuff like that, it was quite interesting, and it was something different. So yeah, that's only like
I can't really take the name seriously because my brain immediately goes, well, that fucking hair crimper I had as a tween.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ghost of the Mighty Bush, which is what my brain did.
No, literally just the trauma of having my hair crimped.
Fair enough. Then we have Finished Report. This is basically, if you take Iron Lung, only you have, it's got £2.9, £2.3 on sale. Basically, if you take Iron Lung, only you have a small remote control car with a camera on it, and you try and explore a space station, try and find out what happened. And sometimes the car will go fucky, and you have to go, I wonder why the car's gone fucky, and then something will reveal itself to have happened. It's something very different, done with the style of the Iron Lung style, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I definitely would say that this is something worth looking at. If you like the Iron Lung style, you'll probably really like this, because it's very interesting in that regard. And it is only like $2 at the moment.
Yeah.
Then there's the one that I didn't think I'd actually get around to playing this year, but I did, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's Red Tape. It's the weird cutout game about working through 9 levels of corporate hell.
Huh.
It's somewhere between like it's very bizarre. It's you're basically going through corporate hell, doing little tasks for them. There's weird historical characters and like nods to like the Inferno and similar style classic artworks. There's,
Okay.
it's very strange. It's a very just fucking weird ass game. But yeah, if you just like something different, very different from everything else, it's definitely very different from everything else, and it's good, and it was fun.
Gotta love unique horror in this day and age.
Next one, if I can spell, was this one. This is Fractured Mind. This was a very short horror game. This won some award for something because it was done by a very young dev, and it's a game about anxiety and mental health issues.
Okay.
I remember it being relatively decent, but I don't remember anything about it now I'm watching this. I remember at the time being like, that's different. Fractured Mind. I played it in March, so yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But my notes say that it was different from other things. I did win a thing, and it is very much exploring the concept of anxiety and mental health. So yeah, it's like a couple of bucks. Yeah, that's a couple of bucks. Yeah, give it a go if you like the idea of it. See what you think of it. Then we have Buried. Buried is an escape room, but instead of being in a room, you're in a coffin and can't really move.
Oh no.
This and you have to go through your battery life, your air from having the lighter on. It plays in like half an hour. It's decent. Yeah, again, it's another escape room thing that you'll play through once and be like, oh, okay, well that was that. But yeah, it's very much you've got to move things and do things, and there's little elements like there you can see a hand coming out and grabbing you by the leg, and you're like, where the fuck's the hand come from? It's yeah, it was made in a month by a dev as a self challenge. But it does seem quite good. It was fun to play through. As I said, it only took us like half an hour to play through it fully to get the ending, but if you like escape room style games, it is something very different from other things, and it was good. The next one is very different from pretty much anything else because it's of the art style. This is Trash Bunny House. This takes the whole animatronics Five Nights at Freddy thing and actually does something. Oh, it does something even more weird with them, where they're just there all the time as you kind of go through the story. I was expecting this one to be absolutely fucking terrible, but I think I had a lot of fun with it. Basically, this is a deserted mannequin factory, and you just kind of go through, and things just start getting weird. And there's puzzle elements, there's jump scare bits, there's a story, there's multiple endings. Yeah, you play through it in like half an hour, 40 minutes per ending, I think. And there's multiple endings if you want to go through it multiple times. So yeah, it's just something very different. Like most things, when they try and use the animatronics thing, they do it. They basically try and use it either weirdly sparingly and it doesn't do anything. This one just goes full out, just goes, no, they're fucking everywhere.
They're everywhere and they're horrifying.
Yeah, they're everywhere, they're horrifying, and you don't know which ones are going to react and shit, and it does it just really well.
Yeah.
I will definitely say that it's very different from everything else I've played, and yeah.
The thought of being able to like walk past them and then do nothing is horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
There's a lot of them that do nothing. Then, when I can spell. Then we had this one, which was also a very strange one. This is currently half price at $169. This is Bonnie's Bakery. So this starts as a cutesy, make things for people, make cakes for your patrons style game, and then it kind of cuts to part 2 of the game, where you go into the basement and you find that Bonnie has been getting her sources by basically like kidnapping and then killing and dicing up members of the townsfolk, who are all animal people. So yeah, it's really fucked up in a weird way, but it's done in such a very cutesy way that it doesn't seem as
It's not outwardly horrific.
No, it's not outwardly horrific, but it's done in such a kind of bizarre way The problem is that I kind of wanted it to do the thing where it would swap back again. You know, and try and pull the mask back on, but you're seeing the blood dripping out the sides and giggling about it. But no, it just does the part 1, then part 2, and then it's done. I think if it had tried to go back again a couple more times and been like the, you know, hee now you know what's really going on, just try and run with it kind of thing, I think it would have done a little bit better. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's very, yeah, as I said, it kind of feels like two games meshed together. I think it would have done, if I'd done a little bit more time together, it'd probably been a little bit better. There are game modes, if I remember right, throughout where you're playing different people. Yeah, it's an interesting one. There's definitely enough story and gameplay wise to hook you in on both sides, but yeah, it kind of is just a bit weird. I think there's one where you try and escape from the basement, and one when you're trying to bring people back to the basement and stuff. It's just very fucking weird. Yeah, I, as I said, I'd prefer if it kind of switched back and forth a little bit more often, but yeah, it is what it is. It's an interesting one. It's something different.
More of the baking.
Yeah, even if it did the baking side as a kind of, you know, you know,
like building horror every single day as you're trying to make your boss not realise that you know while you're trying to work something out, or
yeah, the police turn up and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, kind of thing. Yeah. But
yeah.
What's the Breadmaker
Can you
not
lean
this
in
year?
and become her accomplice?
last
Like
year, I believe.
you can do
If it's
funny
this year,
things
then
with that.
it's missing.
Check and tell me, because if it is, I'll definitely do it now.
Oh, look.
The last one on this list, unless Meow tells me that there's something else I need to add, is Cover Me in Leaves. This is another very short interactive horror fiction style thing. This one, I believe, was LGBTQ positive stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just something very different, very just narrative. There wasn't actually much gameplay, but it was just a sort of 10-minute long story. And it was just very good. It's a very good little piece of work. And I just wanted to just bring it up as something completely different. And if people want to pay a whole £1.69 for it, for a little 10-minute piece of decent story, then yeah, that would do as well.
It must have been last year because it's not.
I'll do it again now, Meow. Meow is just reminding me of the game that I always tell people about because I think it's fantastic. It's the Breadmaker. I am the bread and the bread is me. It's a fucking bizarre ass game. This is a game where the veil does slowly slip over time and it starts getting more and more fucked up. But I kind of love it. I love the Breadmaker. I think it's one of those games that just, it does so much stuff so fucking well. It's literally just you're not expecting it. It just gets on and starts getting more and more fucked up as it goes along, and you're just like, this is brilliant. But yeah, I can see a lot of people saying it takes far too long to get it to any fucking point. But I think it's great. But yeah, that is us done with all the good games. So all I can say now is I apologise to everyone for all the games we're about to inflict on you that are bad, and I'm going to, just in case there's anything that could potentially stop people thinking that the good games are still going. No, the good games are over now. The 10 games you're about to see we played this year, all of them are fucking terrible. All of them are fucking terrible. These are the worst games I've played in the last year. These games are fucking awful. There's no ifs and buts. These games are fucking awful.
Let's get right into the pain.
There's not really anything else I can say. Like, I will also caveat this by saying that I do not refund games on Steam. Like, I've played over 1,000 horror games on Steam. The number of games I've refunded is on one hand, and the first game we are coming to is one of those.
Is that the one I made you?
Yes, because Meow insisted I did it because it was that fucking bad.
Yeah.
Welcome
one is
everyone to the worst game, first worst game, Resident Fear. Survive a zombie nightmare in Resident Fear Redistribution, sorry. Explore, solve puzzles, and confront the undead in this thrilling horror adventure from Gamesoft Studios. This game was fucking terrible. This is the game that I think I remember laughing about the fact that it basically looked like Phil Collins as the protagonist, wandering around, just basically just being a very hack job of Resident Evil. Oh, this is also one that included 50 seconds of a DVD that they stole. They stole 50 seconds from a film called Black Hat, and they just played it, you know, just bapped it into the intro. As in YouTube flagged it immediately as a, the fuck you doing? So, yeah, that was bad. It's a very Unity asset flip heavy game. There are such joys as you can be randomly walking and if you fall through the floor, you fall into the sub-ocean. You lose all your items because if you start a level again fresh, you lose everything you had. So you lose all your guns. You still find ammo, just no guns. And like literally, if you get your shotgun in like level 1, but then you fall through the world in level 2, you don't get the shotgun for the rest of the game. Because it's only in level 1. It's not in any other level. All the voices in this game were quiet, monotonous AI voices reading the worst translated script you've fucking heard. The game ends in a to be continued. And I will say, I'm sure this game was a lot more expensive than that when I refunded it, because I'm sure this game was like fucking 12 quid or something. Which is the only reason I fucking refunded it. Yeah, it's gone down in price.
What is it now?
Looks like 6 quid. Definitely wasn't 6 quid when I played it.
Definitely was like 10 quid, 10, 12 quid.
That's the reason why you made me refund it, because it was over 10 quid.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game was fucking
I even
bad.
remember saying, if it was like 5 quid, I wouldn't have made you refund it.
Yeah. As I said, I do not refund games usually, but this was just that no, absolutely fucking knocks. But we finished it with To Be Continued, and I remember being so fucking flat by the fact we finished on To Be Continued, and I'd played like 114 minutes or something like that. So I was 6 minutes within my refund window. And I was like, nah, you know what? This is 10 quid I could spend on something else. Yeah. That's how fucking bad it is. But it's bad enough I get a fucking refund on it, you know, it's fucking terrible. Yeah, it's just... They use the story of Resident Evil, like, in this game, but they don't ever, like, do anything with it. It's very cack-handed. It's very... Like, that helicopter taking off is To Be Continued.
Okay.
The helicopter takes off and they go, no, don't leave us! And then it goes To Be Continued. And that's it.
Yeah, that's fucking awful.
That's fucking awful. It's fucking awful.
I'm glad you got your tenner back.
It's a fucking terrible game and it's fucking awful. And yeah, I can't say enough bad about it. So yeah, there's going to be lots of swearing in this section of the game. Not this section of the review, folks. Next we have Last Lesson. Last Lesson is currently 55% off. Do not buy this game. So, this game was included in the Emeka Games bundle. Now, I love a lot of Emeka games that have been out. Emeka Games, I don't know if you remember, Rowan, there was a dev a few years ago that was really upset because people just kept playing their game through and then refunding it because they finished it in like an hour.
Yeah.
Even though they like, yeah, enjoyed the game, but I'm going to refund it. That was Emeka Games.
Okay.
They make relatively decent horror games. That are just short, but they're good, decent horror games.
Yeah.
But they've got this like window of like it's not just them, it's them and their friends. and them and their friends as the bundles you get like games like this in, where you go, oh, it's from Emeka Games and Friends, so it must be like a really good, quite a decent game. No. No.
No.
This one is, it's very Russian. There's a lot of shit lost in translation.
Okay.
There's a lot of wandering around in the pitch black, not be able to find anything.
Okay.
The instructions for what you're meant to do are so badly translated they don't make any fucking sense. You can't move the plot along until you've done whatever it wants you to do, which you can't fucking fathom a lot of the time. Then, but see, all of that you go, oh, but that's what you always play. You play this kind of trash games all the time. Yeah. Then there's 45 minutes in where what it does is it teleports you into a room.
Okay.
Now, all 6 walls of this room start strobing. So you can't look away from the strobe light because it's on every wall.
Yes.
You're meant to do something in this room to get out. I spent 5 minutes in that room. The strobe light continues until you can work out how to get out of the room.
Okay.
I had a literal migraine.
You had bloods pouring out your nose.
I had
Yeah.
I think that's the time I actually had a nosebleed after it, like immediately, because it was proper like black and white strobe light flashing solidly from every single wall, so you couldn't even look away from it.
Oh, yeah.
And
no.
I started having, as I said, blood coming out my nose. According to review, 6 minutes I was trying to find the things before I quit the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not something that you can
That's
fucking
not
do.
healthy.
It's not healthy. It's not something you should fucking do, especially in 2023. There's no warnings for epilepsy
Warning
or
or
anything.
anything.
No.
Right. Because that could kill a man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have epilepsy,
That
but
could cause
by
seizures.
Christ, it almost caused seizures in me. That's how bad it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That sounds like something that would have me like making autistic squawking sounds in indignation and like covering my face.
Yeah.
Like a child.
Yeah. So
Like,
yeah. At the end of it all, fuck this game.
what was that Pokemon episode that had a very similar
Oh, was it the
effect? I tried to
Polygon
watch
one?
That. Yeah, I actually tried to fucking watch that.
Right.
My fucking eyes.
Right. I also just want to say for this next one, when we say witching hour, we mean this game. We do not mean this game, because this game, Witching Hour, is an average horror game that's actually not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. We mean this one. It's called Witching Hour by Mythic Penguin.
Okay.
Now, this game, you can already see, has such weird lens flare while wandering around that you can't see shit. The aim is incredibly vague, and doesn't matter where the fuck you aim, sometimes you just randomly hit shit, even if you're not aiming at it. And as you can see, whenever you shoot anything, it shoots like Fantafoot Twist out of it. That sort of bright orange splatter just flies out of it. But yeah, this game has horrible lens flare, horrible fisheye lens, and the aiming is shit, and it's just fucking terrible.
Yeah, this one looks like it would like frustrate you into being queasy.
Yep, this game is like £4.20. This is a relatively expensive game. This is a fucking terrible game. Genuinely fucking terrible game. Next on the terrible game list, we have Reach.
I feel like I'm descending through like the 9 cycles of hell.
This is
Like-
this is bad. So this
What
game,
brand of terrible is this one gonna be?
so this game you can only move left or right. You can
Okay.
sprint. Sprint means walk slightly faster, and if you let your sprint bar empty, you immediately die.
What?
You basically have, because something chases you, as you see in this one. So what you have to do is you have to hold down sprint and one direction until you almost run out of sprint and then let go. And then let it refill, then repeat. And maybe then you'll survive.
Okay.
So, if you survive long enough, you get on to the second section, where you get to choose where you want to go by A and D, rather than just left or right keys.
Okay.
You find a key, and that's about it. And it's really fucking bad, and occasionally, if you walk the wrong direction, you can walk to like a beehive, where they'll kill you if you stand still.
Okay.
So, yeah. This one
seems like
this one is really bad.
Test of concept more than a game.
It's very bad. It's very, very, very bad.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a game.
So as we go from bad to pointless, we go into endless suburbia. So this is a game about driving.
Okay.
You drive by pressing W.
Okay.
You can get up to about 20 mile an hour, and you're driving around barren, empty streets.
Okay.
If you bump into anything, you lose.
Okay.
Eventually, some lights will appear in the sky, and you go, "Oh, lights!" If you go towards said lights, an alien will just spawn, and the game will just say "Game over."
Okay.
And that's it.
Right. Again, not a game.
If
A
you-
proof of concept.
If you like, I like the fact that it's in the Stenders font.
Du, 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 du.
Yeah, it's pretty pointless, and it's pretty bad.
Like, you could have had more fun by just having the odd EastEnders character shouting at each other in that East London sort of accent, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that would have at least been funny. You know?
Next one is a streamer break game, which I know you can say, "What the fuck are you doing? These are always terrible games. Why are you thinking this will be good?" This is bad. I mean, I play a lot of terrible games. I play a lot of free games as well, because I think that, you know, sometimes you get really good free games. This game was fucking terrible. And the whole thing is you're meant to be avoiding the friendo. But
Yep.
the friendo doesn't move very fast. You can just run into him at the last second and that'll be what kills you. But there's no fun. There's nothing to do, there's no fun. There's
Yeah,
like...
this entire video I've been looking at.
Yeah,
Why do they keep cutting to the streamers?
because they
Like,
want to say that they're a streamer bait game. But the only time you ever die is if you turn round a blank corner that you can't have seen anything before now, and friend is just standing there.
yeah.
That's the entire game, and it's just not fun. It's
Yeah, no,
really
we need
not
better
fun.
AI than that.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's
Yeah.
genuinely just terrible, and not fun. So we've kind of gone through terrible, and then into like just boringly bad. Then we got this one, which was Shudderstep, which looks really interesting. You're like, oh, this looks like a really fancy game. No. I think this is the one we were stuck outside the entire gameplay because we couldn't work out where the fuck to go. And this is another one that some games you can tell how well they've been made because if you press either what they called the inverted marks, quotation marks. you put like quotation marks. Is it called quotation marks button?
I think so.
The one next to colon on the keyboard. Yeah. Press either of those or colon button on the keyboard. The dev tools will jump in and you can just like walk through walls and shit. And even with the dev tools turned on, we couldn't find what the fuck to do. There was a hammer. Couldn't find what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah.
It was really fucking boring, really fucking terrible, and we couldn't find out what the fuck it wanted to do. So this one is very much a sort of vague, nah, rather than anything else.
Yeah, like, don't want to even think about it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you try to teleport through the door?
Yeah, that's when we tried to teleport through the car.
No, the door.
Is it a door?
I don't know, but that's what I'm asking. One was where you were in a lab, and you tried to teleport through the door with the dev tools turned on.
I can't remember.
Because you couldn't find a way out of the room.
God.
After, you know, everything.
So, this is Image.
Yeah.
This is a game. See how much you can see on this screen. It's like a circle of light. The game decides that no, this is too much light. We're going to reduce how much light you get. Quite a bit, and it starts giving you a headache, and you're like, this is getting quite bad. And then it's like, yeah, we're going to start blocking the lower half of your screen because we want the darkness to be more overall. So the like bottom third of your screen gets blacked out as well. Right. So you've got a constant flickering light and no visibility at all.
Okay, yeah, that's
and
gonna
it
hurt
just
your brain
it
after
just
a while.
becomes bad.
Every game developer should have an autistic person stress test their thing. And if they go, it fucking makes my ear itchy, I can't explain it, you need to fix something. Because it's something that's going to be bothering everyone. It's going to dial it up to 11 though. It's like,
right.
You know,
we're now in
light and sound.
We're now in the stage of the worst two games I've played this year, or the two remaining ones. Would you rather the one that's bad, or because it's really fucking bad, or would you rather the one that gave me the most long-lasting migraine I've ever had? We're gonna get to both.
Really bad one.
The really bad one.
Let's start with the really bad one, and then we'll get to the one that like actually caused medical problems.
Welcome everyone to the Trap Remastered. This is 50% off. This is usually 20 quid. I think I got this on Fanatical for like either free or for like 2 quid or something. So, welcome to the Trap Remastered. This game has not been remastered. This has just been... remastered was the term they used for releasing it on PC.
Okay.
So, the voice lines are basically sound that they're done by an Alexa. The combat mechanics are fucking terrible. The jogging speed is literally minutely faster than walking. The way their quests work is that if you're like say the alphabet is, you know, where your dungeon is, you start at A, the end of the quest point is now Z. And then when you get to Z, it goes, right, go back to A. So you go through the entire dungeon to get back to A. And then it goes, great, now do it again. And the final boss, the story is so railroaded it's not fucking funny as well. It's like, there is one door that opens, find that door. The boss is, if it hits you once, you're dead.
Oh god, I remember that.
Okay.
But you need to hit it multiple times for you to survive. Sometimes you can get away with a glancing blow and it won't kill you, but it might poison you, in which case you'll die immediately after the boss fight finishes. You can't heal out with like, there's certain points of the game you're allowed to heal. If you go anywhere else, even if you have healing items on you, you can't heal. There are times that any enemy that hits you can cause you to almost die or bleed out. But again, you can't heal unless you're in a very particular place to heal.
Great, yep. This sounds infuriating on multiple levels. Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else I'm trying to remember about this one? Yeah, it was just really fucking bad. The boss fight was hilarious. It was like the boss can hit you once, like glance and blow you, and even if you run around to avoid him, so you can, like, you know, dive and move. No, if he hit you once, you're gonna die from poison. So yeah. The combat mechanics were fucking terrible, like really fucking bad. This was apparently a multi-platform release game, and this is terrible. The story was boring. The voice lines were terrible. The combat was terrible. The fact you had to backtrack on backtracking was terrible. The fact you couldn't heal when you needed to fucking heal, you had to go to a certain room to be able to heal, and then you had to go through all the fucking open and closing door mechanics. It was bad. It was really fucking bad. It was depressingly bad. Yeah.
Yep, that just sounds like a absolute mess of a game.
The fact this has one user review. What does the one user review say? Oh, that's 2. I've never been railroaded so fucking hard while having to backtrack 90% of the game. Yep. There are 5 main rooms you are walking back and forth through, and let me break it down for you. These room works, and remember this game is $30. Yep. Each room will have 6 to 7 exits, only one will be open to you. I've mentioned that. The rest will be either locked or have invisible walls blocking your path. Yep, I mentioned that.
Yeah.
You proceed through the only exit that allows you to leave and perform mundane tasks such as grabbing a medkit or checking to see if an elevator has power. Afterwards, you travel back to the first room and proceed to another exit. Another stupid check. Another new exit. The whole game is walking back and forth along a few rooms, and once every while you have to fight a zombie, which is beyond fucking buggy. Yeah. Combat happens in 2 ways. Either you go toe to fucking toe with a zombie and just throw haymakers until one of you drops, and you have to bug this, or you have to bug the zombie by attacking him and moving to the right so you can glitch them a bit. Yeah, this sums up things I don't remember as well. This game is bad, man. This game is fucking bad.
This sounds broken.
It is broken.
Broken and not even so much designed as put together.
Oh, this one also has, like, it's, what was it? I'm trying to remember. I used to be able to remember. This has a different name on, I can't remember if it's Xbox or PlayStation. It's the Trap Reimagined or something like that. It's another something, but it's the same game and it's had no more stuff done to it.
Right.
It's still just as bad. But it had a different tag. It had a different tag depending which console it was out on. It's bad. It's fucking bad. Now, equally bad, but nowhere near as expensive, is this game. This is the game that gave me the worst migraine I've ever had, ever, in my life. So, it basically wants to be the Backrooms meets a monster cave. So, friend appears after you've been in the room for a couple of seconds. He will always chase you. He will always catch you. You have no time to work out how to get through the cave because friend will always catch you and will always hit you. There's a noise. There's a noise, even in the description, I can only describe as between bad black metal singing warming up and sheer headache-inducing noise on a constant 7-second loop for the entire time that friend is chasing you. And I remind you that friend chases you for 99% of the game.
Right.
So this is basically after the 30-second point is when friend spawns. Every second after this that he has spawned, you have to put up with this sound until you die. And even then, sometimes it bugged and stayed on. It's exhausting to listen to. It's migraine inducing. It's got no point to it. It's pretty fucking boring because it's just wandering around a blank and empty maze. But it's fucking terrible. So yeah. This is mine. And it's fucking terrible.
You don't have to play this. There's better games.
And that
Life's
is
too
the
short
end
for poorly
of
coded
our
asset flips
terrible
you're not
games of
enjoying.
this year. But
Suddenly there's
but fuck damn, those 10 games are bad. And if anyone knows anyone that does any of these, like, oh, I'll play any trash you want, you have these 10 games now, you can do what the fuck you want with them. But they are bad. And they are varying types of bad. I have played a lot of good games, I've played a lot of very, very bad games. But I think overall, I know roughly what to say when I get to the end of this and be like, yeah, this is yeah, exactly, AJ. Life's too short for these terrible games. Because some of them are.
Don't waste your time on these.
Yeah.
Let Pupsky do that for you.
Yep. I will happily waste my time on all of these, and we shall see. This will probably go out on the YouTube between now and the end of the year. And hopefully next year, if I remember in time, we'll do some more of these. Do another list like this. Hopefully it won't be as long this time. I think it's just because this is the first time I made a proper list of actually, decent games. And when you do play like 600 games in a year, you do just need to say, yeah, these like 41s were good and these 10 were like fucking terrible. There's a lot of like, yeah, it was bad, but I've played worse. And these are the worst I've played. From being boring, being horrible, being migraine inducing. Actually, I'm going to see, can we actually hear the sound of this? Does the sound come in this? Let's see, does the sound come in?
I can't hear anything.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible.
So yeah, that's I'm already feeling the migraine starting. That's on a 7-second loop, endlessly.
Oh, yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already making me feel a bit. Ugh.
Yeah. So, as ever, if you have any games, if anyone has any games they want us to play in future TTO, we do them every Tuesday, every Thursday. Sometimes they are after Verlasten, which is a 5th edition D&D stream, which is done by Mr. Greg. But the rest of the time, they are done Tuesdays, Thursday nights. And we play weird and wonderful indie horror. And I have quite a long backlog of stuff I need to get through, but I'm always looking for new stuff. I do try and look in Steam every week and see if there's anything new, because I just like playing weird shit. But yes, if you have anything you would like us to play in future, please get in touch to us at Penance RPG and tell us that you'd like us to play this, and we will do our best to play it. So yeah, do you have any thoughts on those, Rowan? Now you've subjected you to 2 and a bit hours of weird games.
Well, every single genre and art style are bleeding together in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
That Fleshwater one, I have downloaded that.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
probably
good.
going to play.
As I said, you
Yeah.
can you can finish every ending in like 30 minutes. It's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward, but it's good to Logan. But yeah,
The last one, that sound effect made me feel sick. So I am so sorry. I hope you got a refund on that.
I didn't, but it is only a 50p game.
Okay, right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, as
They
I said,
should pay you 50p to put up with that noise. Honest to God, that's disgusting.
as I said, I've played so many weird games, and I've only refunded like a handful, and the only one I refunded because I just felt completely ripped off was that Resident Fear one because it was like $10. But yeah, for the most part, I am more than happy to play any fucking trash people have, because I just think that sometimes there are good games hidden beneath it. I don't care. I'm not as fussed about like asset flips and stuff like that, because I do feel that devs need to learn.
Yeah.
And I would much happy try something that looks like an asset flip that turns out to be really good than not try it and just let someone kind of, try and cut their teeth when they don't really know what else to do and they're just trying to learn.
Bad assets do not ruin a game. It's an asset.
Bad writing, bad controls, they ruin a game.
Yeah.
Sound effects that
The
give you
way it
migraines ruin a
looks-
game.
Yeah.
The way it looks
it's
can
all
be...
about the feel of it rather than the look of it.
Yeah, if your game is good, and as I said, I've played a bunch of stuff over the years now. Let me just see, how many have I played on stream? I've played... my stream wants to work again. Come on, stream. Come on. When it wants to scroll down, let me see. Yes, I have played of TTO. I have... Where's the... I have 3 games on -5, which is the ones that have caused me pain. All 3 of them have been on this, which was Last Lesson, Mine, and The Trap.
Yep.
I have 42 games on 0. 0 for me is there is either no game there, or it's so bad it's not that no one could actually have fun playing it.
Yeah. What was the one me, you, and Tom played, and it was like absolutely atrocious?
Oh, I can't remember, but I know it was a
Once
lot.
we worked out the bugs
Yeah.
and had like the tiniest bit of a system going, we had it down. Yep.
That one was good. But yeah, I have 42 games on 0. I have 268 on a 1, which is just, this game is just generic or blah, left no effect. I have 142 games on 2, which is, it's bad, but it at least has something that I'd be like, it was alright.
Yeah.
I have 159 games on average, which is games that's been like, yeah, it's fine. Nothing really much else.
That was an experience.
I have 128 on 4, which is positive, but a couple of, holding back bugs and problems. And I have 155 on positive overall. And as I've shown before, I will just quickly bring these up. And I will put my thing back on. So yeah, these are all the games that I have on 5 score. So any of these games you see here are good games. If you're looking for ideas, any of these are really fucking good. Or good enough to be enjoyable. There are some very interesting ones here. I mean, the fact the original Garden Ban's there makes me a little bit suspicious, but yeah, I think that one was good. The rest of them have been a bit kind of mediocre. But yeah, there is some good stuff in here. Mist of Aden was a surprisingly good one. Maze is also interesting. My Beautiful Paper Smile was by the guy who did Choo Choo Charles. Old Code is about dinosaurs. It's fucking stupid. Prognostic's a very good little puzzle game if you like. If you like stuff, it's basically just a puzzle game with a big friend. You have to avoid every so often. But it's still a good game. All the Rusty Lake games are really fucking good. Sexy Brutale is a fantastic little puzzle game. Yeah, there's just a bunch of other stuff. There's Webbed, game about being a spider and running around. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I sent
I
you
think
that.
Rowan would like that one. I think
It's
Rowan would like that
cute.
one.
Rowan sent me that one.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So yeah.
Yeah, I found that and was like, here, It's Spider. You play as Spider. You click a button to dance.
Actually, was the Trench this year? Was the Trench this year? No, it was last year. Actually, the Trench is an interesting one. It's a Fire and Sun game. And it was, as far as a final sort of, it was basically a very small one where you're just going through, you're on a ship trying to, you find little capsules of what's actually happened as you go along. And if I remember it, as a Fire and Sun dev team, and it was actually really good. But yeah, anyway, if I do really good games now, it just seem really awkward since we've done the terrible ones. So yeah, we'll leave it there. But yes, thank you everyone for watching and listening along for our very long ramble about games of the year. As I said, to try and narrow down 600 games to even 40-ish ones that were good, and the 10 terrible ones was definitely something. But yeah, we managed to get through it, and hopefully this goes on YouTube, and hopefully people who like indie horror can at least look at it and say, and tell me if you think I'm wrong. Just tell me why I'm wrong in the comments and all that stuff, because engagement.
Talk to us, please. We're so lonely.
Please talk to us. We're so lonely.
Please.
We all sound like Tom. But yes, that will do us for this. So our next streams will be tomorrow night. We'll be doing more indie horror. Don't know what we'll be playing yet. I think I'm playing. What am I playing tomorrow? Hang on, let me scroll to the top and see what I've got on the list for tomorrow. I've not looked on Steam since Tuesday, so there might be more new shit out between now and then. But I think I'm playing. I'm playing The Orphanage. I believe I'm possibly playing this, so possibly playing The Orphanage, which is a game from this year, which says it has puzzles to solve, so it might be interesting. I'm possibly playing this one as well, which is a free one called Quiet as the Eyes, which looks it's another kind of like side-scrolly one, but it's like there's a creature that occasionally comes in you need to run hide from, but there's also puzzles. Might be interesting, might not be. We'll find out. What else is still on the list? There's this one, which is called Stay Still 2. Spine-chilling first-person survival horror game based on the Vietnamese culture. The game unfolds a daring experiment in which survival seems nearly impossible, engage in a story gameplay where puzzles are your key to progress. Does almost ever have a style. What I still don't understand is Steam doesn't recommend horror to me.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of that either.
I play almost exclusively indie horror. Like, don't get me wrong, I play like puzzle games and stuff as well, but I don't get horror games recommended to me.
Would you
through
like
Steam.
to play this action arena shooter?
Yeah, I'm like, no. I
No.
played those kind of things. Oh, and the last one that I will add in my list of things I might try and get done tomorrow is Joyful. Joyful's another one of the mascot horror games, so I'll maybe try and get around to that. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow in Indie Horror. Friday will be more Lethal Company with myself, Tom, Zeph, and hopefully Amy out. And anyone else we can rope in, because we'd like to get a bigger group for playing it. Sunday, I don't think there's a stream Sunday because I think it's New Year, and I think Eden's doing his Clone Hero, Shrekkening. So I think we'll probably be over at Monkey Magic Eden, watching Eden for that, and then maybe doing some Jackbox. I don't know if that's going to be live or that's going to be off stream. We'll find out. Monday there probably won't be a stream unless Belry messages me and says, "Whole fam, want to do a game?" Because I assume he's working or he's recovering from working because it's New Year's Day. But then Tuesday and then onwards we'll be back to normal. So I don't think there's Everlasting on Tuesday, so I think it's going to be back to being indie horror. So yeah, that will do us.
Full lineup.
So yeah, thank you everyone once again for being in. Thank you very much to Rowan as well for keeping me sane and company throughout this, because it's been a long one.
That's alright. Glad to be here. Still haven't caught old Crafty.
Still not caught him.
I'm still here. If I ever went quiet for a period, it's because I was like, right, I'm getting fishing. Fuck's sake.
Gonna catch that crafty boy.
Just want to catch this fucking shark.
Oh dear.
Just
Well,
give me this fucking fish.
we are going to raid out to probably to Crimson because Crimson is on. Let me just find my dashboard so I can raid out to Crimson. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we're going to raid out to Crimson, who's playing some more of the Outlast Trials. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So for the rest of you, have a great rest of your year. Hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow for Indie Horror. If not, have a great end of 2023. See you in 2024. Good night, everyone.
Have a good one.